What's going on, YouTube? My name is Jacob, and in today's commentary I want to talk about Destiny and the Taken King. Now, the reason I want to get back into this is because in my previous video I said that the trailer was misleading people in the wrong direction. Okay, that it was not telling them the truth. As you might recall, like a year ago when the Destiny's trailer for the base game was out, everybody was fucking excited, was busting a nut, for the game, and everybody just wanted to get their hands on it, including myself. I was pretty excited. But like I said in my previous video, it's not telling them the truth, okay? I knew it, and I saw this shit coming from a mile away. Now, granted, I didn't buy the DLC. What I did, I told my friend, because he bought, the DLC mainly for PvP content. He wanted more PvP maps and, whatnot. He had no interest in the story, because when I went over, his place, he had no stories completed. So he told me, Jacob, just coming over and, just, play it here, play through the missions, and then, and just kind of review it, here. So I did, and oh my god, it was terrible. It was a terrible experience, and I knew this shit was gonna happen. I knew that Bungie was gonna turn around and give you a slap in the face with this overpriced $40 DLC. Now, one thing that I noticed a lot in the DLC, and overpriced again. Okay, please just I want you to focus on the price range that they charged you, for this particular content. Now, this content recycles so fucking much of the base game. Okay, you're basically paying for shit that you already own. You paid $60, maybe $100, like myself, a year ago, and now they charged you another $40 essentially to play through areas that you have already played through, and I hate it. That was one of my main concerns. That was one of the things that I hated about the House of Wolves, and one of the things that I hated about the Dark Below. You had to replay through the areas that you had to replay through on the vanilla game, which I did not like. How is that DLC? DLC in my book is you're gonna play through different areas that are not on the base game. That's the whole and the sole purpose of DLC, and will ever be, for any game. It should be, okay? But Destiny is been getting away with this shit, with the recycled PvP. In this particular DLC, they use PvP maps, okay, to make it part of the story, which was absolutely absurd. How can anyone defend this? Goes fucking beyond me. Okay, I guess they like to get screwed up the fucking ass, and get charged constantly for $40, $50 for recycled content to just replay on the same places they have played before for a year. You see what I mean? Now, I was expecting, when I was playing, at my friend's house, I was expecting different missions, okay? Not just wave defense, not just horde mode ripped off from Gears of War. I was expecting something different, maybe like an NPC following you around and he had to guide you through, the next objective, or maybe a turret section, to just spice it up a little bit. I was expecting different shit, different missions, but all it came down to was basically the same thing. Okay, as the base game. If you recall, on the base game, everything was wave defense. Every single mission, it was. There was no difference between the missions themselves. And here is no different. Okay, yeah, maybe you have to get a couple of things here and there occasionally, but it is repetitive. It is redundant. It is absolutely tedious. Okay. Absolutely tedious, and I couldn't believe that we had to pay for this shit. Okay, essentially what we paid for, the only good shit that I believe that we got on this DLC, or the people that got it, was the 3 subclasses, which look freaking cool. Okay, now that I have to give credit to, they look freaking amazing. There's no denying that. The production value in this game was absolutely great. Okay, they look fancy, they look colorful. They're really freaking cool, and it's sad that I'm not going to be able to play with them, because out of principle I'm not going to support it, even if it's just for a review or just to let you guys know what you're getting yourself into. I'm not going to buy this shit. So another thing that I noticed on the Taken King DLC, now they were hyping up the Taken. Okay, that's why it's called the Taken King, because the king, Oryx, comes in and he basically takes over the other factions, apparently for some fucking reason. So he takes over them, right? So basically what happens is there's no new enemy. And I was expecting a new enemy. I mean, I knew that the king was gonna come in and, you know, with his ships and his fleet or whatnot. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, he's gonna come in with a new enemy type or different variations between enemies, or that we're gonna act differently or gonna do something different, you know, to spice up the already, you know, stale formula of Destiny. But no, that didn't happen. Basically, and this was such a cheap way to do their enemies for the Taken King. They took the hype, they took all of the factions, they put this kind of like shady mode. I guess they put them in shady mode, you know, kind of like in ghost mode, which, you know, they could, you know, split in two, do stupid shit like that. Maybe, you know, drop a kind of like a bubble shield, like Titan. It was minor things like that. Okay, they were just all basically the same enemies, just reskinned, okay, to make it look like the Taken. And then they would put the Taken King, you know, name on top. You know, they're like the Taken Thrall, the Taken, you know, this, you know, kind of like, you know, the enemy variations and the names. They would just put the Taken name on it, which was, I couldn't believe it when I was playing through the game. I'm like, do people actually want to play through this shit? Do people want to pay $40 overpriced dollars, you know, for this particular DLC? It is disturbing. It is absolutely ridiculous. I could not believe it, and that's one of the things that killed me the most. Okay, that killed the experience as I was playing this shit over at my friend's house. The same enemies. Okay, I was expecting something different for an overpriced DLC like this. Such a big, you know, DLC that they were saying that, you know, they were hyping this DLC to become something fucking great, that it was gonna fill up the blanks of the, you know, the base game. You were gonna understand what the fuck you were doing, okay? But honestly, the story was as incoherent as the base game. I had no idea what the fuck, you know, Oryx came for, except that, you know, he wanted to take revenge over his son. But the thing is, in order for that to happen, in order for you to feel some sort of emotional, you know, attachment or any sort of emotional, you know, feeling towards these particular characters, you have to develop it from the beginning, and that's something that Destiny didn't do. It failed to do something like that. It failed to establish any sort of, you know, emotional attachment to any character. Not even about your Guardian. I mean, I didn't give a shit about why I was killing Crota or why I killed Oryx. I didn't give a shit. I mean, I don't even know what my Guardian gave a shit about it, okay? Now, when Ares first shows up, she tells her you have to kill, you know, Oryx, right? That the Taken King is coming. And you're like, oh shit, shit's about to go down now. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker and it's gonna be fucking sweet. But the thing is, no, that was not sweet at all. I mean, it was even more incoherent. I mean, it just put more question marks on my head. Be like, what the fuck did I just do? Why the fuck did I just do it? You know? Why didn't other Guardian do it? I mean, it was so many holes left out still that I felt like this story was, you know, terrible. It was absolutely tedious, okay? So, besides the repetitive missions, the recycled enemies, and the same PvP maps that they use for the quests, as you know, when you're getting, you know, the subclasses, the story was incoherent, and the final boss battle with Oryx. Okay, so it was so anticlimactic. Okay, it was. I mean, the build-up that led to that particular battle there was no build-up at all. Okay, you just went through the motions. And then finally you're like, oh, okay, well, now you have to kill, you know, Oryx, so go ahead and go kill him. It's cool, okay? You're not gonna have any help, so don't be expecting help, but just go kill him, okay? It was like that. Even the characters, okay, because I know, fuck, I forgot the name, Clyde, I think it was Clyde, the hunter that's helping you out through most of the story, quote-unquote story. He even sounds bored at it. He doesn't. There's no tension, not even tension from the, you know, NPCs that are helping you out. There's no tension from Ares. There's no tension from, you know, Clyde. There's no tension from anybody. Okay, most of the characters from the beginning of the cutscene, they mostly disappear. They just tell you what to do in the beginning of the missions, for some of them, and then just completely vanish into thin air. They don't fucking talk to you anymore. They don't tell you anything. They don't give you any weapon. They don't give you any piece of gear. They don't give you something to make you feel like they're actually contributing to the help. I mean, lazy assholes. They're just sitting on the tower while you do all this shit. I mean, a mission where they would have, you know, gone with you, you know, maybe in a turret section, or maybe a wave defense maybe, but they're right there with you, an NPC, and you have to defend them too because he's got unlimited, a limited amount of health, and you have to defend him, you have to defend your ghosts, something like that, to spice it up would have been good, it would have been great, but it didn't happen. Okay, what we got was the wave defense ripped off out of Gears of War 3 and an Incoherent story. Now, as soon as I reach Oryx, I'm like, alright, cool. This shit's about to go down. This thing better make up for the fucking, tedious experience I just had through this storyline, quote unquote, badass storyline that was supposed to fill up the gaps from the base game. I'm like, alright, let's do it. And it was, oh my god, I couldn't understand what was going on with the boss battle. Is that the level of creativity that these developers had for a boss battle for Oryx? That's supposed to be a king that can control fucking worlds and can control like numerous factions of enemies, but a single guardian can take them down because supposedly you're the chosen one or some shit. I'm telling you, it was some shit like that I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. It was very puzzling, and at the end it just left more question marks in my head. Now the boss battle just basically becomes to, you have to run away from Oryx because he just keeps shooting, those, I don't know, fucking orbs. I don't know what the fuck he's shooting. His fucking powers at you, just like the other enemies. Okay, I mean, if you go back and see the other enemies, they act exactly the same. Okay, the Hive, they throw fucking out of, from their foreheads for some reason. They throw powers at you. I don't fucking know. It's so fucking weird. I mean, even the Fallen, they have their cannons and their weapons, and they shoot lasers and shit like that. And here was the same thing. Okay, when it came down to Oryx, he didn't do anything different. I mean, at the end, when he was running out of health, he kind of like, locks you in this particular, you just kind of like lose this white circle, I guess you could say. He puts a shield, and you can't escape it. And that's where he has, the advantage. But even at that, I didn't feel any tension. It wasn't hard, it wasn't complicated. Anybody could have done it. It didn't take any skill, it didn't take any critical thinking, which sucked. Okay, I mean, it sucked. It just left a bad taste on my mouth. I mean, I already had a bad taste, from Destiny, from the base game, and it was getting worse as I was proceeding towards the end. And that just, it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. It broke my fucking back, and it fucking hurt, okay? It was painful to see something like this, especially from an overpriced DLC that was absolutely hyped to be the shit, okay? This is what happens when companies like this overhype their DLCs and their base games, and ultimately they fail and they flop. And they flopped, okay? Bad in this particular DLC. So, again, when it came down to the final boss battle, oh my god, they fucking sequel baited a fucking DLC, which I was not expecting. I was like, okay, you're gonna kill Oryx, they're probably gonna come up with hopefully a brand new storyline, hopefully something new, hopefully something that can get my attention and have some sort of emotional attachment to. But no, he grabs the sword, something goes in him, or I don't know, it's like an orb of light, he laughs, and then he walks away. Kind of like the developers. It's like, they got your money, they touch your money, they grabbed it, they took it, they laughed in your face, and now they walk away. And I just be prepared for another expansion. Hopefully, they'll be more, careful about selling this shit, because it was terrible about this, okay? Now, I'm not gonna completely hate on the game, because the production, I'm telling you, the production value was good. Everything looked shiny, everything looked good. The graphically, fidelity was... And you as a gamer must be able to criticize a game properly based on the amount of content that it boots from the beginning. Please like and share the video if you enjoyed it. This is Jacob, logging off.